today's guest is Shreesha Ramdas. He's the CEO and co-founder at Lumber. All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Tatsuya-san. I appreciate it.
Great. Looking at your background, investing in so many different companies, I think we talked before you had four startups. I'm always interested because, when you're starting something new, there's just so many things to consider. And what I always wonder is, did you have that kind of natural tendency to want to do new things or business minded growing up?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, because growing up, I had no idea that I wanted to be an entrepreneur or a founder. My background, where I come from, I was taught to watch every step I take, which is measure every step you're going to take, right? So, work hard and go up your career. And so, coming into US, I was thinking I'm going to work hard and climb the ladder and be an executive one day. And I would credit a lot to the Silicon Valley to shaping me what I am today, because every fourth person I used to meet used to have an idea. And I think down the road it rubbed off on me, where I initially thought, I'm not capable of thinking an idea. It evolved to like, hey, I can contribute to an idea. And then it evolved to, hey, I can come up with an idea as well. And then once you have an idea, you have the itch to get started. So, so that's how it happened. I call Silicon Valley as my Disneyland, though there's no Disneyland here, because for a tech guy like me, there's so many things to get inspired and really enjoy that atmosphere. Just every conversation is a learning opportunity.
Got it. So, like the environment in which you put yourself in is extremely important.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And for you to come to Silicon Valley, was that very deliberate, or was there other reasons? Why did you come initially to the US?
Yeah. So as I grew up in India and I studied engineering, software engineering, and I realized that so many innovations and new technology development is happening in US. So US was a natural choice for me. I had an option of either going to Australia and or US. And I initially thought about Australia because everybody seemed to be going to US. So I said I'll go in the other direction. But I realized that real innovation, as I said, true technology development is happening in the valley, and that's the reason I gravitated towards the US. And I was fortunate that I landed in the Bay Area to work for a software company, and then I got exposed to this environment here that was inspirational. I want to point out that I always feel that the best way of learning is through exposure rather than just books or a browser. So you get exposed to things, you learn faster because you're personally going through that experience, and that makes you stronger. And so, one thing that has helped me, that I think I always had it in me, was I always believed in learning. I believed that every day should be an improvement over the previous day, and that has really helped me in my journey towards entrepreneurship and continues to help me even now.
Yeah, for sure. So, over the course of these four startups, and we can talk more about the one that's related to construction. Uh, but some of the earlier ones, what were some of the key learnings that stood out?
Yeah, so the first startup that I was involved with, I was in my 20s, and I call that age of invincibility, where where you feel nothing can break you, and you have to be the center of everything. And as I was building the startup, obviously, as any first time founders, every process, every activity needed to pass through me. I needed to have that information. So call it the first time founders paranoia, that you felt, um, that nobody cares about the company as much as you do, and so you have to be involved in everything, and you have to micromanage people. So I would say the first startup taught me that team is everything and not an individual. Like today, I truly believe that if a company is successful, it's because of a team. If a company is not successful, it's because of the CEO, because the CEO could not build a team together, bring a team together. So I would say the first startup and first lesson was that team is important. And the second startup, I would say, reinforced that even further, where you realized how important it is to have trusted people in your team. Because if your synchronization with every team member is of highest order, then you can make fast progress. The velocity um, is a natural activity from that trusted atmosphere that you have. And I would say the second startup taught me the importance of how you have to have not only a team that trusts together, but you also have to bring in different skills and bring it together. If there are a lot of people who have same skill set, um, same functional expertise, then you just have too many cooks in the kitchen. But if you bring in people with diverse set of skill set, different mindset to the table, and then form a team with them, get them to blend together, to mesh together, then the exponential impact, you will feel it. So that was that. And then in further to that, I'll also add that trusting is the most difficult thing for a founder. And it goes back to what I said, every founder thinks that their stake in the company is so high that it matters to them the most. And so giving up control is not easy for founders. And that's where um, I feel I've come a long way on that front, to an extent today where I believe that anything um, and everything should be delegated out, and you should be a CEO should be there as a coach, um, encouraging the team to go beyond their limits.
Yeah, no, well said. And you mentioned, um, many aspects of, trust within a team, diverse skill sets. Um, any other tips on creating good teams?
Yeah, so I'll talk about lumber in this context. So our mantra is, we call it EOE. The first alphabet E stands for energy. Bring your proactiveness, bring optimism to the table, and bring a lot of energy to the table, right? So if anybody does not fall in that bucket, then lumber is not a great fit. The second alphabet, O, stands for ownership. There's no adult supervision. There are only adults in the room. You take the ball and you run with it. And so having that ownership mindset is really, really critical at Lumber. The third E stands for experimentation. Be bold, do a lot of experiments, and let data guide you in what's the right tactic, right strategy that you should be running with. And so that mindset is really important, and we believe that if those three attributes are there in any individual, the person can blend into the atmosphere that we have created at Lumber. So that is one aspect of the team. The second thing I want to point out um, is that human mind is understands sequential thinking, linear thinking really well, and the human mind is not able to grasp a lot of exponential things, compounding things that have a compounding effect when it comes in front. It takes a while for us to analyze and understand the true impact of that. And that's where today I at Lumber, what I've practiced is that anything that has a 10x impact on the company, any activity, um, any interaction that has a 10x impact, I as a CEO, I have to take ownership of that. Everything else needs to be delegated to the team, and it doesn't matter if people fail in what they're doing, as long as they learn from the failure and make sure that the next time it happens they are better off of it. You're in a good place. So th- that I would say is the best way to forge a spirit of team together. The other thing I would highly encourage for leaders who want to build a strong team is to inculcate the spirit, argue, but don't no disrespect. A team becomes a team when it's comfortable in arguing, because out of arguments the best things come out. But you should make sure that there is no disrespect, because the moment the argument turns to a disrespect, the team spirit goes away. One man up, one man upmanship, that comes to the forefront.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll go into lumbar and sort of why that started and the value there. But I have to ask you, when you said 10x, right? Understanding exponential things better and leaning into it and owning it. What are examples of 10x things you've done, just so that people can identify these things they should own and spend time on?
No, absolutely. So I've always believed in a concept of tugboat. So when you're a small startup and you find a tugboat with whom you can attach, it generates a lot of momentum, especially in your early days. So where I'm going with that is I have always believed in the power of partnerships. A good partnership to anchor yourself with, and if your partner is having an incredible growth, you then ride that whole wave together. So that's one thing that I have done in lumber, where the key partnerships with lumber. I've I've been at the forefront of initiating those discussions and making sure that it's gone on the track, because once you sign the partnership, it's not over. After that, you have to, because signing a piece of paper is easy, but after that, fulfilling your side of the promises, making sure your partner is also on track with those promises, it's really important. So that's one example of where I have taken leadership, taken charge, and has had a big impact on lumber. We have created now an environment where partners know that lumber loves to collaborate, and lumber is not hogging all the limelight. Lumber knows how to work and play really well with their partners. So that's one example. The another example, um, the San, is basically, um, in the construction industry, for example, there are several executives who have had long stint in the construction industry and are really passionate about making a difference in the construction industry, moving the industry ahead. And they may have retired, and maybe now taken up may have taken up board positions, or may just be consultants, but they still have offer a lot to the industry. And um, it's not easy to comprehend that kind of an impact that those people can bring to the table, right? But because when you're in a day-to-day operation, you are just wanting to take a task forward, you want to move ahead, and the value of these experienced professionals and the impact and how to leverage them may not come easily. So that's again an area where I've taken leadership, and I've ensured that there are some of the people who are well known in the industry, who have done great work in the construction industry, are with lumber and are lending their expertise and wisdom to us. And that's one thing that I truly believe will propel lumber incredibly forward.
Sure. Talk to me about your platform.
So Lumber is a workforce management platform, and specifically built for the construction industry. Today, we are offering time tracking with gamification, payroll first, real time pay calculation engine, and schedule and dispatch to our customers. And we have also now brought in a lot of the HRIS capabilities to the forefront. And where we are heading with our platform is ultimately the center object for us in our world, in our ecosystem, is the workforce. We really want to move the workforce ahead. We feel that in the coming days, uh, workforce will be scarce, and we are already seeing evidence of how construction firms are now not relying on labor brokers. They want to hire skilled craftsmen. They're offering benefits, PTO benefits for the first time. They really care about the experience of the workforce. And by experience, I mean, how do you get workforce to feel committed to the construction firm that they are working? How do you get them to feel committed to the construction project that they are working on? And how do you motivate them to do good work, uh, if not great work? And so those are the issues that are coming in the forefront, and that's because the the number of experienced workers who are retiring, and the and in parallel, the scarcity of younger workers coming to the construction industry, that pain is intense. And that's why I feel like there is so much focus on the workforce. And we all know that workforce in the construction industry um, do not have the highest level of education. They get into the construction trade very early. And so we when I say that we want to move the workforce ahead and the industry ahead, what I mean by that is that how do you get the workers more empowered in terms of financial and wellness, um, health well-being? How do you ensure that the family values they can carry forward, right? Those are not um, those are the milestones that we want to reach, where we want to make a difference to their lives.
Sure. How did you set up launching this?
Yeah, so we launched it last year, um, and the one thing that I did early on in lumber is I brought in an experienced team who have been with me before and have different sets of expertise. My co-founder had led Oracle Construction Engineering. My key designer had been an architect in 17 years in the industry before turning a designer. My sales leader started his journey as a carpenter in the industry. And so we all came together. We spoke to about 200 construction firms first to understand the true pain point and how can we move the needle. So we collected all the insights and wisdom from all these construction firms, and both smaller ones as well as large public firms as well. And once we had all of that, then we basically came together to design the blueprint. And then we started launching our time tracking application first. And it was funny enough, the first release that we did, we learned from that we had overdone in terms of feature. It was too many features in the application, and it'll confuse the workers. So we took a step back, and then the next release we actually cut down on the features, and we saw the rise in adoption as soon as we did that, because we made it easy for workers to consume the information that was needed for them to move the day ahead. And so a lot of learning there. And then we launched our payroll application, and that's where we take a lot of pride in, because we found that the industry was having problem when it came to job costing, because it needed to happen after the payroll, so there was always a delay in job costing. And with the smaller and the larger construction firms, the budget used to go out of control because they wouldn't realize how much they are spending. And then when they were able to do the job costing, it was too late sometimes. And so we build the real-time pay calculation. So in real time, our calculation engine can figure out through the prevailing wage reports, through the multi-job job rates. It can look at the mandatory break time, overtime rules. It can look at union collective bargaining agreements and figure out how much needs to be paid to the worker. And it's so much that we have a widget on the workers app application where in real time as they're entering the hours, they get to see the wages accumulated. And so that we feel will move the industry ahead, and we released that. And then we did the schedule and dispatch, and now onboarding and uh, applicant tracking systems and all of that. Really proud to build in a comprehensive work management platform for the industry.
Yeah, very cool. Besides doing your startups, you invest. How do you look at that? What's important to you to look at when you're investing in ideas?
Yeah. So first of all, I have to say a disclaimer. Um, I invest with one selfish purpose is that with every investment, every founder I've invested in, I find that I learn a lot as well in that whole process. And so I always joke that investment is one way for me to stay current and stay young. And I started investing in 2012, so it's been a while. I've started investing. Um, and one thing that one thing that I look out for is a strong founder. If a founder is committed, if founder feels passionate about the idea, um, then that's of really importance to me. I don't care that much about an idea or how big a market is the founder going after, because if it's a strong founder, then strong the founder will keep evolving, will keep iterating and figuring out what's working, what's not. If the founder started with an idea and the market is not big enough, then they will know that they need to go and grab the adjacent area to their core idea and make the TAM bigger. So they'll figure out how to grow, and that's why I've been fortunate that a lot of the companies in my portfolios have done well. Workato is a real big company now. Rocket Lane is on an incredible growth. Scrut Automation is doing well. Metadata, which is a marketing platform, has done well, and learned a lot from all of these founders. It could be tactical as which PR agency is working out well, to which campaign has done well, to which style of engineering methodology is currently working, or what's the DevOps tool that could make a big difference in your engineering process. So all of that, it helps because technology is changing fast. If I had done a startup 6 years ago, the world has moved already. And because I not only invest, Tatsuya-san, I'm actually heavily involved sometimes in the company as well, especially early stages, as the founders are trying to find a product market fit, and after they have found the product market fit, they are trying to do a go to market fit. My philosophy of startup is that it's always a fitness journey. You start with figuring out market fit, then you go to product market fit, then you go to market fit, and then last is scale fit. If if you figure out that the company is not scaling in the right way, then you have to sell the company. If you think there is a scale fit, then you continue the journey and scale the company.
Yeah. The scale fit, what do you look at? Is it just purely the trajectory of the numbers, or what sort of things do you look at to assess scale fit?
Yeah, so scale fit, um, you have to have the products flying out of the shelf. One, you have to have customers finding real value in the product. They not only should have adopted the product, but they should be doing well. They should be recommending to other founders, and you need to have a big market that you can go after.
Got
If
it.
you feel like I'm constrained by anything, then that's a big challenge, and you feel that the constraint cannot be taken away in short term, then you have to question whether you have the scale fit or not.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I guess from your time in the construction industry, what have you learned particularly about trends or um, challenges or learnings that you've had, directly interfacing with the construction industry with your team of advisors and team?
Yeah. So biggest learning from my time in the construction industry is the value of keeping it simple. If you make it complex for construction folks to understand or to adopt, you're going to face massive challenges. It's not going to work. There are simple people in the industry. They take a lot of pride in building the structures. I have seen several construction folks, while they are passing a building that they have contributed to, they'll point it out to their family members and tell them that this is a building that your father built, right? So there's a lot of pride in what they're building. And so you have to keep it simple so that they can understand and adopt easily. So that's one lesson that we have taken to heart, and we are making sure that our product resonates that philosophy. That's one. Second, I have understood what we have learned and understood is basically references matter a lot. If somebody is using the product and um, the industry is very hyper local from that perspective. So if somebody is doing well, then within a radius, all the firms, all the people who know that company or that individual will look forward to hearing how they have adopted, how they are doing well with the product or the tool. So that's one other learning that I've had. And the third is the thing that I'm really excited about, because it was theoretical before I jumped into the industry, was that there are so many challenges in the industry that if you ensure that you're bringing the data together, there's a massive, massive opportunity waiting to not only build a strong product, but to lead with a platform play.